in the context of the conversations that we're having here about women and around women, is important to hear what you have to say. You don't believe in perfection. You, in fact, believe in the magic of imperfection, right?
You know, perfection is so much of a societal construct that, I think, we are constantly telling people that you're not good enough to be able to make them buy more. And, somewhere down the line, this constant, how do I say, this constant marketing to tell people that you need to buy more because you're not good enough doesn't really work, because A, it's not sustainable. Secondly, you lose the confidence of the consumer, because then the consumer is saying, okay, you know what, this is enough, I'm walking out. I think you grow businesses beautifully by giving your consumers confidence that you're just good the way you are. And at Sabya, we have always said that to our consumers, because I don't think we try to create imagery that is so far away that you can't reach. I think
the price tags.
No, there's a reason for the price tag. You see, one of the greater agendas of Sabya is also to keep craft harnessed at its highest stages. And let me tell you, a lot of my craftspeople are women. And I think, if you don't rise the price of craft up, if you don't rise the acknowledgement of craft up, craft is going to disappear. I say that, there is a lot that a lot of global economies can do that India cannot do yet. But there's a lot that India can do that other countries can never do, and that comes from India's soft power. And I think if corporate India was not to understand how valuable India's soft power is, and if it didn't do it to protect it, craft needs to be made into a business. Craft should not be about pledges and charity and help. Craftsmen need to get their children back into the business. And I've always said, I've seen this movie called Help, where a lady tells another woman that, courage often skips a generation. And I took a little from there, and I said, courage can skip a generation, but craft cannot, because if craft skips a generation, craft dies. And if India's craft was to die, India's soft power would crash. I think this country still probably does not realize, and corporate India still probably does not realize how powerful India's soft power is, and how, you can have medical services, you can have IT, but a lot of other countries can do that too. But what you can do with your soft power, because it is so unique to this country, nobody else can do.
No, and that's a very, very important point that you make. But do you worry today, Sabya, that we are at a point which is almost an existential crisis for a whole host of arts and artisans across this country? I mean, you were talking about the fact that this shouldn't be treated like a charity. It shouldn't be treated like a CSR project. What kind of interventions do you believe we need at this point in time to ensure that we keep this soft power alive?
We don't need to do much, because evolution will take care of itself. Because I'll tell you, so we were at the age of influence, which is moving into the age of intelligence. AI is going to come in. And I personally think that AI in many sectors, especially in performing arts and art, will be very short-lived, because after the age of intelligence will come the age of wisdom. And when the age of wisdom comes in and people realize that the greatest gift to humanity is humans themselves, and we should not robotize our existence so much that we forget to be human beings, then people will realize that art and craft is going to be the most important expression of humanity. We don't have to do much. Evolution will take care of itself.
We certainly hope so. We certainly hope so. But, what keeps you grounded? What keeps you sane? What keeps you centered in the world that you live in? How do you ensure that Sabya stays true to who Sabya is?
Calcutta, my friend circle from school, for them, if I'm talking about the fact that, I could not make a shipment in time, they will say, what are you talking about? I have real problems. My child failed in geography. And also my family, my aunts, when I go to a wedding and go to a family wedding, they ask me 2 questions. And, and I have the answer for the first one, the second I can't answer ever. Because they say, who wears your clothes and where do they go? So I think there's always reality check when you're in Calcutta.
There always is a reality check. But who's your current muse? Where are you drawing inspiration from today?
Tagore had a very beautiful poem which loosely translated said that, I've traveled all over the world looking for beauty. I've spent a lot of money, traveled over forests and hills, only to realize when I came back home that beauty lay on a dewdrop on a blade of grass right next to my doorstep. And, I'm 51. I've traveled all over the world. And when I come back home to my muse, which is Calcutta.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. But as you look back at your entrepreneurial journey, and for many women and men who are watching this, what are some of the lessons, some of the non-negotiables that you would leave us with in wanting to set something up that has an enduring legacy that lives beyond you?
Oh, I could go on and on, but I'll make it. I think idealism matters. I think what also matters is excellence, because I think the problem that I face with a lot of people is we constantly keep shortchanging excellence for profit. That's not sustainable. If you look at Hermes, for instance, they were never shortchanged excellence, and they're probably one of the most profitable company with a very strong EBITDA. And they continued to grow when every other brand was in crisis. And to entrepreneurs, I would only say something that, don't complain about your journey. Because if you're an entrepreneur, you're supposed to be alone. Because if you're a visionary, you're always going to be ahead of everybody else. Don't complain if people don't understand, because you have to believe in yourself. Again, quoting Tagore, he had said that, the fight or the tempest is not outside, it's within you. You have to overcome your own fears. It's always going to be a hard journey. It's always going to be a tiring journey, and it's always going to be a lonesome journey. But if you stay on the path, there will always be light at the end of the tunnel. Don't give up.
So if there was to be a movie on Sabyasachi Mukherjee, what would it be called?
My Life in Calcutta.
Sabya, thank you so much for joining us here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, Sabyasachi Mukherjee, we wish you the very best of luck with all your future endeavors. The next 25 years, may they bring you more success, more happiness, and may you truly take India global. Thank you so much for your time here this evening.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very, very much.